So tonight I thought I would share with you my recipe for homemade falafels. Yeah, actually when you buy them in a shop, they are super expensive and I have no idea why, because the ingredients are really simple and really cheap. So I don't know why they are the price they are, but let me show you how to make them. Tonight I'm going to be making them in my air fryer, but you can also pan fry them as well should you want to. So I'll explain all that later. Anyway, first things first, food processor. Don't worry if you've not got a food processor, you'll just need to do this next step a little bit different if you haven't. So I've just roughly chopped an onion, a small onion's gone in there, and a garlic. Let's have a look there. Get my muscles and just pop that in. Now, if you don't have a food processor, what you would need to do is really ensure that you've chopped this really fine. So this just sort of saves a bit of work really when you've got a food processor. So that's been now finely diced and chopped up there. Next thing you're going to add is the chickpeas. Now all these are is a can of chickpeas that's been drained and rinsed. Then I want a teaspoon of ground cumin, that gives it that real lovely spicy flavour. Along with, I want about a half a teaspoon of paprika. It just gives it a little bit of a spice hit. A teaspoon of ground coriander, some salt, and some black pepper. Now, as well as those lovely dried herbs, we've got some lovely fresh herbs. And I've chosen here, you can see there's a little handful, of fresh coriander and also fresh flat leaf parsley. And as you can see, there's some stalks there. So all I tend to do is just take the stalks off, and then I'm generally left with the leaves and just break the leaves up. Again, if you are doing this and you're not using a food processor, you need to really finely chop this down. But I'm sort of cheating. And in goes one beaten egg. So in that goes there. And then pop the lid on. And I'm going to blitz it again, but I don't want this blitzed over fine. I want this to have some texture to it. So if you were doing this by hand, just mash it all together with a fork, hence why, you know, the garlic, the onion and the herbs have got to be finely diced. But I've got to be really careful with this that it doesn't end up too mushy and sloppy. So it really is just slight pulsing until it gets to that right consistency and it's all mixed together. I will also take my trusty spatula, which is fantastic. Just helps to get some of the bigger chunks left around the side, and just another little pulse again with the food processor. It's still got some real good consistency there. Now, falafels, usually in nice little round balls and put in a pita bread with salad. Delicious. But when using the air fryer, I've noticed that it's better to be made into like patties. And that's the same with frying as well. When you bake falafels, you can get away with them in the round balls. But if I try to put them in the round balls in the air fryer, they're whizzing around, it's blowing about, and it doesn't seem to cook them properly. So by doing them in like little flat patties, it really does help to cook them through. And that's the same if you are going to pan fry them as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take all this out of here and put it in a bowl because it's going to be easier to make those patties. So I've just preheated the air fryer here at 180 degrees for 3 minutes like you're supposed to do. I'm going to take out the bottom, and as you can see there's the upper tray in there, and I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil in there. I'm going to have to work quite fast now because what you're going to do is you're just going to take a bit of the mixture and make it into a pate, just like that, and you're going to pop it on. Now, the secret to this is that you do not overfill the air fryer with patties. The same also if you're doing this in a frying pan, you've got to give them room. So you might have to do this even in a couple of batches, but that's fine. So I've just got 6 in there, just wipe my hands. As you can see, Still some mixture left, so I will be batching these. But, there we go. And all I'm going to do is stick it back on. Go to 180 again. It's going to be about 7 minutes one side, 7 minutes the other. Can vary a little bit, so just keep your eye on them. You know, if you've got an air fryer, you take them out and have a look anyway, but just check 180 degrees, 7 minutes one side and then 7 minutes the other, and see how we get on with that. So there they are, done one side in the air fryer for around about 7 minutes, and all I'm going to do is just turn them over. Really, really easy to turn over as well. You think that when the mixture is like really quite sloppy like it is, that it's going to be a disaster, but it isn't. I just then just add a tiny bit more oil on top, just a tiny bit, just to stop them drying out. And then I'll probably, looking at them, probably go about 6 minutes now. So then all that's left to do is to eat them. You can have them with salad, you can have them with jacket potatoes, but my favourite way is this way. I like it in a warm pita bread with lettuce and tomato, falafels inside there, and drizzled with hummus. Now, hummus is quite thick. If you haven't tried my recipe, here it is. That's the homemade hummus recipe. I like to actually sort of loosen this down a little bit. All I do is take some hummus and put a teaspoon of hot boiling water in. As you can see, it just gives it a bit of an easier texture to work with. Fling that in, then it's a case of getting stuck in. Gah. Girls happy.